Are you, like many Americans, feeling stressed out, anxious, or even angry as you're watching the presidential debates? Today, I want to share some tips to help you not only survive watching the debates, but to help you feel at peace, calm, excited, and enjoy watching the debates, even if you're watching with loved ones or friends who disagree with you. These are strategies that I've used as a former college professor to lead hundreds of people through lessons, information, and discussion on controversial topics. The first strategy is to stay grounded. One of my favorite ways to stay grounded and regulate my nervous system is through a technique called box breathing. So let me tell you why staying grounded and keeping your nervous system regulated is important, and then I'll show you how to do it. Our bodies are designed to get us out of danger when we start to feel stressed or anxious. This means that our adrenaline starts pumping, we start breathing faster to help us prepare for fight or flight responses. But when we're in a room hearing controversial topics, we don't really need that fight or flight response happening in our body. Staying grounded and regulating our emotional and nervous systems allows us to absorb information better. When someone is feeling stressed out or anxious, it affects their cognitive ability. They don't listen as well. They don't absorb information as well. And also, when they get in a discussion with another person, they're more likely to react rather than take their time to respond. So for all of these reasons, using the strategies that I'm sharing with you in today's video will really help you get through the presidential debates and the entire election season. So we can actually eliminate the fight or flight response and calm ourselves down and regulate our nervous system by regulating our breathing, slowing our breathing through a technique called box breathing. There are actually many breathing techniques you can use, but this is one of my favorites. It's one of the easiest, and it's something that you can do in a room with other people without anyone knowing what you're doing. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to breathe in for a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and then repeat. You can repeat 4 times, keep everything as 4s, or you can keep going for as long as you need to until you start to feel more relaxed. So let's do a few breaths together just so you can get the hang of it. So you're going to breathe with me, okay? And when you breathe, breathe into your deep belly. This will also help calm your nervous system. Your belly should be going in and out like a balloon. So you're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. So you can do that 4 times, and you can go a little bit faster or a little bit more slowly, whatever is comfortable for you. Another way that you can ground yourself if you start feeling anxious or agitated during the debate is really get in touch with your senses and the things around you. So if you start feeling riled up or triggered, start to notice, what does it smell like in the room? What are some other things in the room that you see? You can even connect with your sense of touch by gently maybe touching the fabric of the clothing that you're wearing, just kind of like this, silently, or maybe your pants or the fabric of the chair that you're sitting in. And again, this is something that you can do with other people in the room and no one's going to notice what you're doing. Now, if these techniques aren't working, stay to the end of the video. I'm going to show you an even more powerful technique that you can use to ground yourself and maintain a positive mindset through the debates. Another technique I love to use to stay calm and even keep an open mind when you're hearing things that might bother you is to get curious instead of furious. When you feel like getting furious, instead get curious. What does this mean? Well, if someone on the screen or even in the room with you is saying something that you find offensive or that you strongly disagree with, and you start to feel judgmental and you start to feel that anger rising up inside of you, stop yourself, notice what you're feeling, and say, okay, instead of getting furious, I'm going to get curious about why they believe the way that they believe. And start asking yourself questions like, wow, I'm really curious what led them to believe this way. Or I wonder what happened in their life that brought them to this conclusion. I wonder what kind of experiences they've had that have led them to feel this way or believe this way. I wonder what the information or data is that's led them to have this conclusion. And I think the really important thing to remember here is that the point of asking these questions is not for you to have to change your mind. You can be curious about another person and their beliefs and their experiences to learn about them, to learn about the issue without necessarily changing your own beliefs about the policy or what you think should happen. And this is so important in our country right now. In the United States, we're extremely divided politically. And approaching controversial issues from a place of curiosity can help us learn about each other, build empathy, learn facts that we might not have known, and ultimately reach better compromises and a better sense of peace with each other. If you want to practice this through discussion with people in the room, you might want to think about how you can ask questions with words how or what instead of why. The word why can feel a little accusatory, like, why do you think that? Or why is that important? Or why did you do that? Why do you believe that? Versus, what has led you to that decision? Tell me about your experience that leads you to have that conclusion. Anyway, play with this, find some questions that feel good to you. You might even want to practice asking them before you go into a situation where you know you're going to have a political discussion or you're going to be watching the debates together. So you're prepared. Even if you're using these first two strategies, you might start to feel yourself getting triggered. This is really common. Don't feel bad. First of all, it takes practice to learn how to regulate your nervous system and your emotions in the moment. And second, if you're watching the debate, you probably care deeply and feel passionately about the outcome of the election and what happens in our country. And you should feel that way. So I'm going to share another strategy with you that you can use to calm yourself down even more. And I believe that this strategy can even help you harness your spiritual and energetic power to influence an outcome in a positive way. The final strategy is a visualization meditation. You probably aren't going to do this in the room while you're watching the debates. You could, but I like to excuse myself to the bathroom during a commercial break or use this visualization before the debate or even after the debate. In fact, I'm probably going to use this visualization meditation quite a few times during this election season. So this is how it works. First, you're going to create a list of the values and the outcomes that are important to you. And I encourage you to go general and ask yourself, what are the general positive outcomes that I want our country to experience, that I want humanity to experience, that I want the world to experience, and make your list. My list would look something like this. I want our country, humanity, and the world to experience love, peace, joy, or the pursuit of happiness, freedom or liberty, and justice. Those are some core values that we can find in our founding documents and pledges in the United States. Some other things that are important to me are physical and environmental health and physical and financial safety. So when I think in general that I want humanity and the world, and especially our country, to experience these things, I can find a sense of peace by embodying these feelings and also sending these feelings out to the world. I'm going to walk you through how I do it, and I'm also going to create a guided meditation, and I'll post it to this YouTube channel. So if there's anything else on your list that I haven't said, please comment below what else you would like for humanity and the world to experience in the outcome of this election, and I will do my best to include it in the meditation for you. So this is how the meditation works. Go into a quiet place, and if you believe in a higher power, wonderful, you can connect to a higher power. But if you don't, you can just connect to a sense of love and light. So you connect, take a few deep breaths, and on each breath, breathe in that love and light and the connection to the higher power into your heart center or your heart chakra. So just take a few deep breaths, breathing in that connection, that love, and that light. And when you start to feel really good and full of love, then start to breathe in the feelings of the ideas that you want our world to experience. So for example, The first thing that I focus on is love. I breathe in. I imagine my heart being filled with love. And on my breath out, I spread that love out from my heart center and I visualize it spreading out all over the United States, all over the Western Hemisphere, and all over the world. And then I follow the same steps for the other ideas that I want humanity, the world, and our country to experience. I want to offer you the idea that each one of us is an energetically powerful being. And through this act of visualization, meditation, prayer, we can positively influence the outcome of the election in a way to bring peace, joy, freedom, love to all of humanity. I don't want to say that specific policies are unimportant. Yes, absolutely. Specific policies are important. But if there was a clear path to peace, harmony, financial security for all of the world, we would already be doing that. So I would like to offer you that idea that keeping the end in mind, that visualizing the beautiful, wonderful outcomes that you want for our country is one of the most powerful ways that we can achieve those outcomes. And one of the other most powerful ways that we can achieve wonderful results is to pay attention, educate ourselves about the issues, and vote. So if you haven't already, make sure you comment below some of the wonderful general outcomes that you want for our country and for humanity. I will incorporate it into the meditation that I'm going to make for you, and I will make sure to reply to your comments so you get a notification when the meditation has been posted. On this channel, I'll also be sharing more strategies about how to have peaceful conversations on controversial topics during this election season, and also strategies for how to analyze the information that you're seeing on social media, that you're hearing in the news, that you see in the debates, and that you hear from your friends. So have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.